What's up everybody, Eyecee here and welcome to another NBA video. This one is for November 4th, 6-game slate. Before I get right into it, a quick recap into my night last night. Overall, it was a good night for me. I ended up cashing 100% of my cash games. I got really lucky taking Westbrook out for Doncic at $100 more. I got unlucky going with 80 over LeBron. But overall, I can't complain too much. Managed to cash a lot of the top chalky plays, managed to flop, so that really worked out well for me. GPPs are another story. I was hit or miss in GPP. I lost a little bit more of my buy-in that I got back, so it wasn't profitable in GPPs. But overall, a really good night. The cash games, king. Cash is king. So cash games are fantastic. I'm happy, and today's another day. So hopefully we could identify some more low-owned, awesome value plays on today's slate. I do have my spreadsheet here that I'm going to be going over. So as always, if you're new here and you like anything I have to say, please hit that subscribe button. It takes a couple of seconds. I'd really appreciate it. It's the only thing that could help me grow the channel, basically. So if you don't mind, hit that subscribe, and I promise you're going to have really, really good luck. If you heard all of that and you still didn't hit the subscribe, then anything that goes wrong with your lineup, man, I don't know. Could be the voodoo. Ooh. Hit the subscribe button. All right. First game of this, I'm just kidding. First game of the slate, Detroit versus Washington. My favorite play on the Detroit Pistons side is Andre Drummond. He's been killing it to start the season. He's in a great matchup here with Thomas Bryant, who is prone to getting foul trouble and a younger player. So Andre Drummond's pretty much going to be in a position to play a little bit of a bully ball at times. Thomas Bryant is going to make it tough for him, but when he's not there, it's going to be a little bit of a bully ball feel. The usage is going to be increased for Drummond with Derrick Rose missing another game. So all these things bode well for Drummond. He's probably my favorite play on the Pistons. Aside from him, Bruce Brown, definitely going to be someone I'm going to be considering. Had a fantastic game last game. Priced way too cheap for the amount of minutes he saw. The opportunity is definitely there. The ceiling is fantastic for this kid. It's just the floor is a little uncertain. We don't know which Bruce Brown performance we're going to get. However, he's definitely someone I'm going to be considering more than not. Markieff Morris and Luke Kennard are the other two guys I'll be considering on the Pistons side. Both of these guys are very shooting dependent. However, Kennard is more so than Markieff. Markieff's price is fantastic. Markieff does get you peripheral stats. He is very competitive. He's going to be on the court a lot. So definitely in consideration for me at a 4K price point. A very good cash play in my opinion. Luke Kennard, a little bit of a riskier play because of his shooting tendencies. However, if his shot starts to fall, definitely in play. His usage is going to be up. The minutes are going to be up with Rose missing. So another opportunity for Kennard to go off. Langston Galloway, honorable mention. 3,200 for Langston Galloway. I don't mind. He's going to be starting. He's going to be getting minutes. The opportunity is going to be there. However, at this price, I might as well just play Bruce Brown, who I know is going to be more productive. Keep an eye on Blake Griffin news. He's questionable. I don't think he plays today, but he might. If he plays, that really takes me off of Markieff Morris a little bit because I think he'd eat into his minutes directly. However, Tony Snell, Christian Wood, all of these guys would be up for grabs as well, who've been getting a good amount of minutes as well. On the Washington Wizards side, CJ Miles and Jordan McRae are questionable. I don't really care about both of these guys. It doesn't really change much for me. My top two guys from the Washington Wizards are Davis Bertans and Isaiah Thomas. So it's a pretty big surprise to you guys, I know. But hear me out. Davis Bertans has been playing really good amount of minutes. The price is there. The usage is kind of low, but from the 3 games I've seen Davis Bertans played, it's only a matter of time before he integrates himself fully into this offense. He's really won a lot of the players over. They trust him more. They're giving him the ball more, and he's had opportunities to smash. The price is really good, and if he goes out there and puts up 28 DraftKings points, I have no problem with that. That would be way more than 6x value, so I will be happy with that. Isaiah Thomas coming off the bench has been super productive. His price has gone up now, but even at this price, he's still been hitting 6.65x value. The matchup is going to be a little bit tougher. It's going to be slower pace. However, it's Isaiah Thomas, man. It's tough to stop this guy once he gets going, and he's coming in hot so far to start the season since he's returned. So definitely in consideration for me. Bradley Beal, Thomas Bryant, the 2 other guys I'll be considering on this Washington team. Bradley Beal is going to be the lowest owned stud in my opinion at 9,400. The price does seem scary to put some people off, but we know what Bradley Beal can do. Definitely in consideration for me. Thomas Bryant had a really bad game against Minnesota last time around. Played limited minutes because it was a blowout. However, in this matchup, I think it's competitive. I don't think there's no blowout potential here. I think Thomas Bryant plays his full allotments of minutes, and we know Thomas Bryant is a point per minute monster. I love Thomas Bryant. I'm very high on this kid since last season, and I'm going to continue that suit. Mo Wagner, Troy Brown are the two guys that I'm on the fence with. Mo Wagner only played the amount of minutes he did last game because it was a blowout, and I'm not sure if Troy Brown played increased minutes because it was a blowout. However, both of these guys have good opportunity at their price points to go out there and smash. Risky plays, but GPP plays nonetheless. Both of these guys could go out there and hit 30 DraftKings points at that price, and you'd be pretty happy. So GPP plays for sure. Rui Hachimura, honorable mention. I didn't color code him, but I don't like the price. I just hate that price for this guy. The matchup is also not that great of a matchup, but we've seen him do well so far to start the year, and I don't want to write this kid totally off, so I'm going to give him an honorable mention. My favorite next game, New Orleans Pelicans versus the Brooklyn Nets. My favorite play is on the New Orleans Pelicans is Jahlil Okafor if Derek Favors remains out. Jahlil Okafor has been smashing it. He's sitting around 30 minutes, 3,100. His price hasn't even increased, so that's a pretty good indication to me that Derek Favors is going to end up playing. However, if Derek Favors doesn't play, then Jahlil Okafor is definitely the guy I'm going to be getting a lot of. Probably my favorite play in general. However, Jahlil Okafor carries a lot of risk. He does have foul history trouble. He does have, tendencies to put up duds. Jackson Hayes is the backup center playing around 16 to 18 minutes if Derek Favors stays out. I like Jackson Hayes. He's been very, very efficient, and I don't mind playing Jackson Hayes in lineups where I don't have Jahlil Okafor. He's only $100 more. Jahlil Okafor has way, way more upside, but Jackson Hayes is safe. He's been playing very efficiently, and Jahlil Okafor is due for a burn now. So I don't mind thinking like that and going against Jahlil Okafor, but definitely going to have a lot of Jahlil Okafor. But in lineups, I don't have Jahlil Okafor. I may or may not have some Jackson Hayes. Brandon Ingram's the other guy I like. Last game, he burned a lot of people because he got that head injury. 7,200 is a great price for Brandon Ingram. He's been playing super, super, super fantastic. I just like what I've seen from Brandon Ingram, and comparing the prices, I'd rather get to Brandon Ingram tomorrow than Lonzo Ball or Drew Holiday for that matter. Brandon Ingram's only $100 more than Lonzo and $1,100 less than Drew. Seeing a lot of usage when he's on the court, the most by quite a distance, and definitely going to continue that in this matchup. Brandon Ingram is going to be heavily used in my opinion, so definitely someone I see doing well today, and definitely someone I'm going to have a lot of in my lineups. Drew Holiday, Josh Hart, both of these guys I'm going to be considering, but I don't get to a lot of them based on their price and their opportunity here. Drew Holiday is going to be defending Kyrie and LeVert a lot. He's going to have to spend his energy a lot, and I find that he's going to give the offensive role to some of the younger guys. Josh Hart, plus you already know Drew Holiday is not that alpha. He's a beta. He doesn't demand the ball. He's perfectly fine passing the ball. So that's the other reason. At this price point, I don't want to play a beta. Josh Hart is sort of a alpha beta dominant, depending on who he's on the floor with. If he's on the floor with the vets, then he's not an alpha. But if he's on the floor with Lonzo and Brandon Ingram, he's somewhat an alpha. He's very competitive. He's a dog. He's shown the coaches that he's going to compete for every possession. The coaches don't mind going to him. He's going to be getting minutes, so definitely someone to consider. However, the floor is unsafe with him, which is why I'm not going to be getting to too much. Lonzo Ball is someone I'm on the fence with on the Pelicans. 7,100 is kind of steep for Lonzo. I'm very high on Lonzo. I love Lonzo Ball, man. I've been singing his praises forever. But Lonzo Ball at 7,100 in this matchup with some of the other guys that he's going to be on the floor with, I'm not too keen on. As you can see, his usage is not the greatest. It's 17.4% usage when he's on the floor. So I could see myself getting to other people. Lonzo is also a beta. He's not an alpha. He doesn't demand the ball. He's perfectly fine passing the ball. So another guy I'm not too keen on playing. Frank Jackson, JJ Redick, honorable mentions. Very shooting dependent. If their shot falls at this price, they'll make you very happy. However, they have a high chance that they do nothing or be mediocre and really sink your lineup. Of course, keep an eye on Derek Favors. And Kenrich Williams, honorable mention. Coming off of two poor games against tougher matchups, this is going to be an easier matchup for him. If David Favors stays out, then I'll go back to picking some of Kenrich Williams. 3,500 is a really good price for this kid. So I don't mind getting myself to some Kenrich Williams if Derek Favors stays out, but not much today, not compared to the past. Brooklyn Nets, my favorite play on the Brooklyn Nets would be Taurean Prince. Two back-to-back fantastic games. The last one not so much, but Taurean Prince has been finding his own as the games go by. He's getting more and more involved in the offense. The usage has been going up. Definitely someone I'm going to consider tomorrow. 5,400 is a decent price for him. It might be high enough to scare some people off because of the uncertainty, but someone I'm going to be getting to. He's getting a lot of minutes, 33 minutes per game. Value is fantastic, and he's been used decently. It's been increasing more and more, so this is a great matchup for him. Definitely going to be getting a lot of Torian Prince. Aside from that, Spencer Dinwiddie is the other guy I really like on this Nets team. He had a great game last game after a really bad game the previous game. He's a hit or miss guy, but we know he comes off the bench. He provides a spark for the Nets. He's a very high usage guy. When he's on the court, he does a lot. So definitely someone I'm going to be considering at 5,500. Joe Harris is the guy I'm looking at just based on minutes solely. He is very risky if his shot's not falling. He doesn't get that many peripherals. However, he's on the court a lot. If his shot is falling, and this matchup is a matchup where I could see JJ Redick and Joe Harris going shot for shot, then yeah, I don't mind Joe Harris at all if his shot's falling. Definitely going to consider him. But 4,800 is a little steep for Joe Harris, in my opinion. But that's just me. Kyrie Irving and LeVert are the other two guys, are the star guys on this team. Both of these guys are going to be in consideration for sure. LeVert, I'll be playing more than Kyrie just based on the price. But Kyrie definitely has been playing really well as so far in the season. I don't see why he doesn't do well again today. He's really hard to guard, man. And Jrue Holiday is going to try his best. Lonzo are going to try their best. But Kyrie's really hard to guard. And I could definitely see Kyrie having a good game here. Caris LeVert, on the other hand, Caris LeVert's a super high flyer, energetic guy. As long as he stays clear of foul trouble, I don't mind getting to him at all. He was the standout players for the Nets last year before he got injured, and so far he's picked up right where he's left off. He's been playing really well, so I don't mind getting myself to Caris LeVert. The other guys I'm on the fence with on the Nets are Jared Allen and DeAndre Jordan. Depending on who starts, that's the guy I like. Both of these guys have shown that even in limited minutes, they've been able to hit value more often than none. Jared Allen's been more consistent than DeAndre Jordan, but that's mainly because Jared Allen's been getting more minutes than DeAndre Jordan. DeAndre Jordan is priced up, but I really expect Jared Allen here to get the start. It seems like the coach is alternating the lineup, but I could be wrong. It could be DeAndre Jordan. Whoever it is, I like them. DeAndre Jordan started last game and he smashed it, so definitely someone I'm going to be considering. The next game we got here is the Houston Rockets, who were embarrassed yesterday, versus the Memphis Grizzlies. Oh my God. I don't think a lot of people are going to be happy playing James Harden tomorrow, but you got to have a short memory for DFS, and I'm sure most DFS players do. We know this. You got to have a short memory. So James Harden, all in, all aboard, 100% in play for me tomorrow. Probably one of my highest studs I am exposed to tomorrow. I just expect a monster game from James Harden, especially with no Russell Westbrook. This is a scheduled rest for Russell Westbrook on a back-to-back. So I don't really expect to see Russell Westbrook here at all. So James Harden's usage is going to go through the roof. But that also means that Eric Gordon's going to be in play. Daniel House is going to be in play. Their usage is also going to be up. Daniel House in particular has been very well, playing really well to start the season off. He's been playing a good amount of minutes and producing really well, although he has been with Westbrook and Harden at times. So he's definitely someone that's going to see a good usage increase here and someone that they're going to depend on. Eric Gordon, he's been really bad so far this year. His shot really hasn't been falling for him. He's been very inefficient. 1.9 PER rating. That's horrendous. That's horrible. So he's been really bad. Is that going to continue? No, because we know Eric Gordon's not that bad of a player. The price is fantastic. There's no Westbrook, so I don't see why I don't get to a lot of Eric Gordon today. The guy will be playing a lot of today, and I don't know if he goes under the radar or not, because the commentators were talking about him a lot yesterday. But Chris Clemens, going back to the preseason, Chris Clemens was the guy that really caught my eyes on this Houston Rockets team. And then when I did a little bit of research, it really made sense why. He was a top scorer in college last year, 30 points per game, the highest average since 1997. This kid can get a bucket at will. If you watched the game yesterday, he was the one shining light for the Houston Rockets team. Time and time again, he was getting them buckets yesterday. His minutes are going to be increased for sure. His usage is going to be increased for sure. He played 22 minutes yesterday. He played really well. He got 24 DraftKings points. With no Westbrook there, the shot opportunity is only going to increase. Definitely someone I'm going to have a lot of tomorrow, Chris Clemens. Clint Capella I'm going to be giving honorable mention to because they're going to need his size, strength, and speed against Jonas Valanciunas, Brandon Clark, and Triple J. That is if Triple J plays. But Clint Capella hasn't had that great of game so far to start the season. However, his price is down now. 6,200 is too damn cheap for Clint Capella with no Russell Westbrook, so definitely I'm going to be considering him as well. On the Memphis Grizzlies side, Brandon Clark I have strong consideration for if Jaren Jackson stays out. If Jaren Jackson plays, then I don't really have that high of interest in either one of them. Jaren Jackson is a walking foul, and he's going to eat into Brandon Clark's minutes. Jonas Valanciunas, on the other hand, he's been playing limited minutes, but even in limited minutes, he's flashed tremendous upside. He has real GPP winning upside even in limited minutes. The ownership's going to be very low on a guy playing limited minutes to start with, but with the amount of production he's been showing, 6K, I don't mind. I could get myself to some Jonas Valanciunas. DeJounte Murray yesterday was one of the top plays yesterday, and he's playing limited minutes, and barely anybody picked DeJounte Murray yesterday, but he went off. He killed it. It was in the winning lineup. So Jonas Valanciunas, I don't mind getting to. Jay Crowder, he finally came back down to earth. Finally had a horrible game. He's been very inefficient, but he's been getting a lot of minutes. For someone so inefficient, he is getting a lot of minutes. So he is one of the vets on the team, one of the more competitive, fiery personalities on this team, and the leader, to say the least. He is the oldest, so by default, that falls to him. He is a very responsible type of guy to begin with, a real leadership type of guy going back to his Boston Celtic days. It's very apparent that he's super competitive, and on this team with a bunch of young guys, he's really leading them by example. So he came back down to earth, but someone I'm going to be considering tomorrow. I like the price. I like the matchup. It should be a super fast-paced matchup, so lots of opportunity for a lot of these guys to go off. John Morant in a fantastic matchup here. Definitely going to be playing a lot of John Morant going up against James Harden for sure. Not much to say. John Morant has been having a great season so far. There has been some hiccups here and there, but to say the least, he's been performing really well for a rookie. The other three guys I want to mention here are Grayson Allen, Kyle Anderson, and Dillon Brooks. Both of these guys, all three of these guys are in an up-tempo, pace-up matchup. It's just Grayson Allen and Dillon Brooks are very shooting dependent. They take a lot of shots, and it's just a matter of them hitting their shots. My favorite pick out of these guys will be Kyle Anderson, because Kyle Anderson plays good defense. He fits into the Memphis Grizzlies mantra, their mold, and he's been playing really well. He did have a bad game the previous game, but Kyle Anderson is someone that could get hot with threes, and he does get peripheral stats, so I don't mind getting to him. Dillon Brooks would be the guy with the most upside. He's playing the most minutes out of all the three guys. Dillon Brooks been averaging 26 minutes per game. 4,200 is very cheap for a guy that takes 14 shots a game. If his shots falls, man, then he's someone definitely that could break the slate for you. His ownership is going to be pretty low compared to some of these other guys with all the value that we have here. But Dillon Brooks has consistently been playing for the Memphis Grizzlies. He hasn't been playing consistently, like play-wise, but he's been getting the minutes. So, great upside, great opportunity. It's just risky. These three guys, they're all honorable mentions. Aside from that, I don't really care about anybody else there. Next game, Milwaukee versus Minnesota. Of course, Minnesota doesn't have Karl Anthony Towns. That should make this a little bit easier for the Bucks. So Giannis Antetokounmpo, my top play on this game. Giannis has been killing it. Stud of the night, maybe. He has real opportunity to be the stud of the night. I don't really know who stops Giannis on on the Timberwolves. Yeah, they'll try and throw some Jake Layman and Gorgie Dang. Yeah, pretty much that's it. Robert Covington's not going to have a fun time guarding Giannis. No one can really guard Giannis, man. You need to double, triple team him, and that means if you're double, triple teaming Giannis, then you're leaving Wesley Matthews, Chris Middleton, Dante DiVincenzo, Ersan Ilyasova wide open for threes, which is why I like all four of those guys. Between the four of them, Wesley Matthews, DiVincenzo, and Ilyasova are the guys I'll be looking at most because of their price. Ilyasova has been going really under-owned every single game. He hasn't had that killer game yet, but he's been very consistent. He's been getting 18, 19, 20 DraftKings points. At this price point, that doesn't kill you. It's very safe. DiVincenzo's been playing the last couple of games. His minutes have been going up, and he's been very productive. The 3 points really falling for him right now, so I think they ride the hot hand here and continue going with DiVincenzo, who's minimum priced. He's seeing a lot of usage when he's on the court, so that also bodes well for him. Wesley Matthews twisted his ankle and left the game last game. I call him a bum because I had a lot of Wesley Matthews that day. I really expected the Raptors to close down on Giannis and force the ball out of his hands. They didn't do a good job of that, so Giannis ended up popping off. But Wesley Matthews would have been a guy that'd be in a key position to catch the ball and shoot. He's a good three-point shooter and someone that was basically there for that. If the Timberwolves decide to double, triple team Giannis and play decent coverage on him, then he'll be kicking it out to these guys, and these guys will really be needing to make their shots, which would make them very valuable at this price points. People that could definitely win you the slate if their shots falling. So I like Wesley Matthews the most because of the upside. DiVincenzo has been very consistent the last few games. He's the hot guy on the team, and Ersan Ilyasova has been the consistent guy that's yet to have his ceiling game. So all three of those guys are in consideration. Chris Middleton has just been underwhelming. I haven't played any Chris Middleton yet. I don't plan on playing any Chris Middleton yet. He's priced too high for a guy that really spends most of his time defending and is not really the first or second offensive option on this team. It's usually Bledsoe, and if it's not Bledsoe, it's George Hill. If it's not George Hill, it'll be Ilyasova, Wesley Matthews, and then it'll be Chris Middleton. Chris Middleton's a beta. He's not an alpha. He doesn't really demand the ball. He can go out there and get you a bucket. He was an all-star last year, but he was only an all-star because of injuries, not a true all-star. He got a super max or whatever the hell they ended up giving him. They overpaid him, and this is what you're gonna get from Chris Middleton. 80% of the nights. 20% of the nights you can go out there and go above average, get you 40, 50 DraftKings, not 50, but 40, 44 DraftKings points. That's not out of the realm of possibilities, but that's pretty much it. His ceiling is pretty much what it is. You're not going to get a 50, 60 DraftKings point game out of Middleton, and at 6,800, I'm not really interested. Pat Connaughton's still questionable, so keep an eye on that. But aside from that, I'm not really too interested in anybody. George Hill I'll give an honorable mention to because he's still minimum price and he's still getting a good amount of minutes. He's very productive when he's on the court, but there's other guys I'd get to today. There's a lot of value. Eric Bledsoe too, honorable mention. 6,100 is a great price. Don't get me wrong. It's just the matchup here is not that great, and he's not a great three-point shooter. So not someone I'm going to be playing too much of. On the Minnesota Timberwolves side, we have Jeff Teague, who's one of my top plays on the Timberwolves. Jeff Teague is just one of the safer plays in my opinion. We know what he's going to go out there and play. We know what he's going to do. 6K is a really cheap price for him, so I don't mind getting to Jeff Teague at all tomorrow. Andrew Wiggins, on the other hand, I'm still flaky with. I don't trust Andrew Wiggins. However, without Karl Anthony Towns, his usage is through the roof. He had a really good game last game. But I'm willing to go against the field on this one. I know he's going to be pretty well owned here, and I'm willing to bet against it. So won't play too much Andrew Wiggins, but I will have him in some lineups. Definitely. The upside is there. The usage is there. And the minutes. But it's just the price and knowing who he is puts me off of him. Covington, Dieng, Layman, Okogie. All these guys saw increase in minutes with Karl Anthony Towns out of the picture. Robert Covington, he gets peripherals and can fill up the shot sheets, but he's very shooting dependent. Gorgie Dieng had a very nice game in Karl Anthony Towns' place. If he's going to get the same amount of minutes, I don't mind going back there. However, the matchup is going to be a little bit tougher than it was the previous game. And the price is still what it was in the past, so that's a good thing. I don't mind that at all. But it's just, in my opinion, a tougher matchup against the Milwaukee Bucks. Jack Layman's definitely going to be needed here for sure. He's going to be playing the same amount of minutes as he has been playing. It didn't increase with Cat going out or anything like that. So I expect Jack Layman to see 25 minutes at 3,500. If his shot's falling, if he's getting peripherals, if he can be productive, it's just risky. It's a risky guy. Josh Okogie saw a huge minutes bump with Cat out. He's been performing really well this season. And at 4,100, I don't mind getting myself to some Josh Okogie. The matchup is there. The upside is there. So, yeah, I don't mind Josh Okogie. Next, the second last game of the night we have here is the Philadelphia 76ers versus the Phoenix Suns. The Philadelphia 76ers, I love all the starters. Ben Simmons, Richardson, Tobias Harris, Al Horford. I like all four of them. Josh Richardson would have to be my favorite. He's so damn cheap, and his usage goes through the roof with no Embiid. So definitely in consideration for me at 4,600 DraftKings dollars. He's been killing it. He's getting 6.2x value, so definitely someone I'm going to be considering a lot tomorrow. Aside from that, Ben Simmons, Tobias Harris are the real offensive threat on this team. Option 1A, option 1B with no Embiid. So both of these guys are in play. They're priced adequately with that Tobias Harris' price being nice, but Ben Simmons does fill up the stat sheets, which is why his price is also nice. You get your assists, rebounds, steals, and blocks alongside 15 to 20 points, triple-double threat. Al Horford, double-double threat, 7K around. I don't mind it at all. Great matchup against the Phoenix Suns. Going up against Aaron Baines, who was understudy on the Celtics. and now also going up against Kaminsky, who he has had great matchups with in the past. I like Al Horford here. I think he fathers these two younger guys tomorrow, and he's in a great spot here. Aside from that, James Ennis is the guy I'm looking at. Honorable mention, 3,200 for a guy that's going to be getting a lot of minutes with no Embiid. He's a very productive guy at times. He has humongous potentials, and against the Suns, I could definitely see James Ennis being on the court against the Suns. Matisse Thybulle and Kyle O'Quinn are the guys I'm on the fence with. Both of these guys should be seeing a good amount of minutes. Kyle O'Quinn I'm less worried about. I know he's going to be getting minutes. It's just if he can stay out of foul trouble. Matisse Thybulle, on the other hand, if his shot's falling, he's good because he's one of their best defenders. They're definitely going to be sticking him on Devin Booker at times, maybe even Rubio and Oubre, but he's going to be seeing the court a little bit more than he usually does. They're going to need his defense against this Suns team that's been playing it really, really well. So yeah, those two guys are the guys I like, or I'm on the fence with. On the Phoenix Suns, I don't really like anybody on the Phoenix Suns, truth be told. Aaron Baines would probably be the guy I like the most on the Phoenix Suns. However, I'm still on the fence with the whole team in general. I don't really understand what's going on. DeAndre Ayton's really changed the dynamics of this team. Devin Booker or Ricky Rubio has also changed the dynamics. But Devin Booker just doesn't have the ball in his hands as much as he did in the past. He's still seeing a good amount of usage when he's on the court. However, Ricky Rubio has the ball in close game situations, and that's just what I've been noticing. So Devin Booker's a risky play in my opinion based on that. However, the fact that he burned a lot of people the other day, his price has gone down. The matchup is great. Philly is a really tough defensive matchup for most of these guys. However, people have managed to go off against the 76ers. I don't see why Devin Booker isn't that guy, so he's in consideration for me. Ricky Rubio as well. He could go out there and have a good game. It's just the price is a little bit higher than I'd like it to be, which puts me off just a little bit, knowing the matchup and all that as well. So Ricky Rubio I'll consider, but not as much as the floor or the field. And Frank Kaminsky is the other guy I'll be considering at 4,200. He's been having great games coming off the bench, providing a great spark. He's also a playmaking capable guy, so he can get you some assists here and there. Guys I'm on the fence with on the Suns are Oubre and Mikal Bridges. Oubre not so much. I know Oubre is going to be getting minutes. His price is nice. It's just what kind of performance am I going to get from Oubre? Am I going to get a lethargic, uninspired performance, or am I going to get the Oubre that's tongue out, Michael Jordan, head bobbing? Is that Oubre the one I'm going to get? I think I get that Oubre because of the matchup here. He's going to be going up against some top dogs here in the 76ers. Great chance for the Suns to show that they're the real deal again, once again. They've already beat some of the toughest teams in the league, surprisingly. So I won't be surprised if they really make this a competitive game for the 76ers. So Oubre I'm not really on the fence that much with, but I just don't know which Oubre am I going to get. However, I'm hopeful. 6,300 is a great price, and I'll be getting to some Oubre, maybe more than the field even. Mikal Bridges has fallen down the pecking order. He's still someone that has so much upside, man. Like, the upside is tremendous from Mikal Bridges. If Oubre gets into foul trouble, oh man, I'll be licking my chops. Mikal Bridges, 3,300. Very, very, very risky play, but last game showed it. Booker got into foul trouble. They went with Mikal Bridges. He's a shooting guard, small forward, and he got a little bit of increased minutes, and he hit 9x value. So either or those two star guys get into foul trouble, Mikal Bridges automatically becomes very, very valuable, and I could see myself getting to him. Last game of the slate, not really too excited about this one in general. Portland versus Golden State Warriors. Portland, of course, are two-star guys. Lillard, McCollum, both of these guys are in play. Lillard has been very quietly killing it, and even at an $8,900 price point, he's almost at 6x value for this price. So I can see myself getting to some Damian Lillard here. It is the last game. I like having some players in the last game as my late night hammers. It just makes me feel better sometimes. But Damian Lillard, I don't mind getting to it at all. The minutes are there. His performance has been fantastic. He's been steadily producing, very consistent, so I don't mind getting to him. He's going to be up against a lot of rookies. That's the only thing that's scaring me. Damian Lillard might not really need to try against a lot of these guys. This could be a great spot for someone like Anthony Simons, who's been getting a lot of minutes off the bench, and he hit that game winner the other day. Or he almost hit the game winner before... what's his face hit the game winner over Lillard. I forget, but yeah, I don't want to spend too much time on that. But yeah, Lillard's definitely in play for me. If he's going to be seeing the minutes and it stays a close game. However, I do have my doubts about that, so I don't get to too much Lillard. McCollum, on the other hand, man, he's been hit or miss. He takes a lot of shots. Very high volume shooting guy. He is the second option offensively. 1A, 1B to Lillard actually. But his shot sometimes doesn't fall, and he doesn't get the ball in his hands as much as Lillard. His usage isn't that bad compared to Lillard's, but the assist upside is definitely not there, at least not so far this season. But McCollum has burned a lot of people so far. 6,100 is a very cheap price for the second option on this team, if you want to consider him that. So I don't mind getting to some CJ McCollum. Hassan Whiteside is expected to play, but keep an eye on that. If he plays, I like him. It's going to be very tough for any of these Golden State Warrior guys to really stop Whiteside. The only one that can stop Whiteside is Whiteside if he fouls himself and foul troubles himself. But yeah, Rodney Hood is questionable, and if Rodney Hood doesn't play, then I really like Bazemore and Hazonia. Both these guys have tremendous upside. They flashed it so far this season. I like Ken Bazemore a little bit more than Hazonia. However, Hazonia has the bigger ceiling game possible. So both those guys will be in consideration if Rodney Hood is out. If Hassan Whiteside misses, then Labassiere is the guy I'll be considering. And I'm going to give an honorable mention to Aferni Simons, who I already talked about. This guy is going to be a killer in this league, man. He's 20 years old. They're really keeping him under the radar here. But this kid can really shoot. He's not scared to shoot. He's a dog. He's going to be up in your face. So I love this kid. I love what I've seen from him. I've watched 4 of the Portland games so far, and I've watched I think I watched every preseason game too. This guy's the real deal, man. He's someone definitely to keep an eye on in the future. And if this game blows out whatsoever, then he's going to be the first guy off the bench. He usually is the first guy off the bench for Lillard or McCollum. Definitely in consideration for me. Honorable mention. How much of him I get to? Probably not a lot. In the late game slate, I might get to him a little bit more if I end up playing those. But just an honorable mention. Keep an eye on this kid going forward. Definitely someone with a lot of potential. And then the last game, Golden State Warriors, Kai Bowman, Eric Paschal, Glenn Robinson. All 3 of these guys are in a good position here to go off. All of their prices have gone up. My favorite pick out of the 3 would have to be Eric Paschal, just because I think he's the best young player they have. But Glenn Robinson is not far behind. Glenn Robinson is more mature. But Eric Paschal just has a lot of peripheral opportunity to get peripheral stats as well. He's very competitive, very energetic for his size. And someone that, from the eye test, the games I've watched him play, I really enjoyed watching him play, and I've seen that he has a future in the league. Glenn Robinson, another guy, really, really good guy to watch. And then Kai Bowman played his first real game of the season. Great debut, 34 DraftKings points in 38 minutes, 4,300 price point. Not that bad of a price point considering he's going up against the Portland Trailblazers, who do run a lot of small ball at times. Not really much so with Whiteside, but it works to Kai Bowman's advantage, in my opinion. Going up against the Portland Trailblazers tomorrow, he's just risky because we don't know too much about him. But definitely someone in consideration. A really sneaky play, in my opinion. Probably lower owned, one of the lower owned guys because of all the values we have on the slate. But from the late night perspective, definitely someone I'm going to be considering. And from the Golden State Warriors perspective, definitely someone to look at. On the fence with Willie Cauley-Stein and Jordan Poole. I mean, free Willie. If Willie gets minutes, he's going to kill it at this price. No doubt about it. Jordan Poole, on the other hand, one of these days, Jordan Poole is going to make a lot of shots and he's going to kill the slate and win someone a lot of money. I'm not going to be chasing that dream, but I know it's going to happen one day. And, of course, D'Angelo Russell is questionable, so almost everything I said about Kai Bowman changes if D'Angelo Russell ends up playing. But D'Angelo Russell, I don't really think they risk him or play him because that wouldn't be smart. They're basically going to stick D'Angelo Russell with a bunch of rookies in a game that's going to be very hard for them to win. They could still compete and win, but I don't really know. Honorable mention to Damian Lee, who had been playing a good amount of minutes, who will continue to play a good amount of minutes off the bench. He is coming off of an injury from last year and someone that the Warriors were really keen on before all that stuff went down. So he's an honorable mention. Definitely could be a sneaky play. And another honorable mention is Omari Spellman. Marquise Chris only played 7 minutes last game with all the injuries they had. So that should be a good enough idea to you guys going forward how high Marquise Chris is on the pecking order. Omari Spellman, on the other hand, played 18 minutes. And yeah, that might not have been a great matchup for Marquise Chris and it might have been a better matchup for Spellman. I don't really think this is a good matchup for either one of these two. But shout out to Omari Spellman. So that's it, guys. That's my video. These are my top plays for today's slate. If there's anything you liked, please hit that like button. If you haven't yet, subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. Again, I got the voodoo power. And good luck today. Hope you guys really do well. Take it down. And let me know if you won yesterday. Let me know who your favorite stud is today and who your favorite value play is if you're still here. And yeah, take care, guys. See you next time. Bye-bye.